Welcome back to my grimoire series. Today we are starting another new grimoire. This time it's my art grimoire. It's my first ever only art grimoire. Before this I always just crafted and painted in my normal grimoires, but I decided to just take a sketchbook and make it into an art grimoire specifically for me to work art spells. So it's not so much a place to store information and more a place of active working. I thought I would share the first page with you. It's very much autumn themed because I filmed it way back in October, but I still want to share it even though it's November and winter is approaching. You can also see that the background of my book is already painted in red and yellow. That's because underneath I have written out spellwork. So sometimes it's spellwork itself, sometimes it's affirmations, sometimes it's a visualization practice. I think having these under the artwork itself gives it a bit of power, It's like silently in the background having some spellwork going on, working in its own little corner underneath, safe from praying eyes, very protected as well. I do really like the idea of this, so in the future I will continue adding affirmations and spellwork underneath the actual artwork. Most of the time it has to do with the artwork I put on top, like in this case. I won't tell you what I wrote down on the page. That's also why I painted over it, because I knew I wanted to share this spellwork in the video. I bought this napkin in Denmark and wanted to use it today because of the colors. I think blacks and reds are beautiful. It gets into, now we're in the darker half of the year, so oranges, reds and blacks fit very well. There's also a little bit of green in there, which I really like because most of my spreads are very nature based. Now I started forming a path using some copper metal flakes. I think it turned out so cool. The art spell itself was very much centered around pathways and movement and a journey, so I think it fits super well that I decided to do a path out of copper. It's so shiny when my grimoire is laying on my altar. It reflects the copper so beautifully. It's like an illuminated road through the woods. I think it looks amazing. I also decided to use a bit of black paper to have some even ground to write on, because I want to put an affirmation there to summarize the spell underneath. Then I put wax on top to kind of seal it into existence, you could say. I thought that was a very clever way to activate this page. Again, I'm using like gold, copper and browns to fit the illuminated pathway and also the like dark earthy feeling of the darker half of the year. Now my favorite part begins, the decorating. I always have so much fun doing this, and because it looked like a pathway leading through dark surroundings, I thought I would make it into a forest autumn themed page and added mushrooms everywhere along the road. So much fun. When the sun shines, you can even see how it kind of reflects onto this copper foil. It looks amazing. For extra spell structure, I added a border on top. Sometimes I feel the need to do this. I'm not sure why it gives me the sense of more structure and protection, maybe because it's like a border in a way, or like a restrictive, like protective wall. Then off camera I cutted out some vines and leaves and little flowers because I wanted to get the feeling of a very troublesome or how do you say, not gruesome but a harsh environment of sorts that this illuminated copper trail goes through, very in contrast to the trail itself because it's so bright and so shiny that it looks like the surroundings are kind of pushed away from the light it reflects. Something like the castle from Sleeping Beauty that is like caught in all of the veins and the thorns, that everything is kind of clouded from this, but still the path, the journey and the way you're supposed to walk is very much bright and shiny and leading you safely through this environment. It has also kind of a little mysterious vibe to it, a little playful as well, hiding the fairy behind these vines. I do enjoy this a lot. I think it perfectly describes what I have written underneath. I think it perfectly describes support and power and just stability on the journey to come, exactly what I wanted. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope to share more artwork in the future. I hope to share more art spells in the future, and I hope you will join me. Bye bye!